and the rest of the building will be one room, which will triple as a choir room and a general music room, and also a meeting room. It's a lot smaller than this room, but when you need a middle-sized meeting room and bigger than the Elsie Lewis room, you have this big room here that does triple duty. And it will connect with a door which exists right here to get out on the flat roof. It will connect right with that door and into the rest of McGuire. So that's a space that's just waiting to be built. It doesn't serve any purpose. The arches are still down here where they are, and we put one standard window, just like those windows, above each arch.
The other thing that does is the existing choir room at the bottom of these stairs, which is a rather large room, will get freed up for other use. So.
Lots of use, yes. The present choir room can be divided or kept. Unknown things you can put there. And you still need more space, but at least we're getting a little bit that we can get. Well, here we are.
You didn't mention the stairs that go up to the...
Say again?
Did you mention the stairwell that goes up from here?
The new stair.
The new stair?
Oh, in this corner?
Yeah.
I think I did. We'll extend it one more flight, and it goes to the gallery level, and directly into that new room we'll find where the organ chamber now is. Is there anything I've forgotten? I'm glad you reminded me of a few things.
Paint colors.
Colors, good point. We are having a paint color consultant, to do just a little representative investigation, a little scratching of the existing paint, to see what kind of colors we find under the present off-white. We know it has been different colors, and it has had patterns of stenciling. In 1906, there's a very, very detailed description of colors and the patterns of stenciling in the newspaper. We have a photograph. You have a photograph that shows. Now, that's not necessarily what we're going to do, but we're going to find out what was there. And the thing that excites me about this 1906 description, it sounds as if your stained glass window program was in place. Your stained glass, except for the 3 altar windows in the 1880s, the rest of the stained glass came into place from about 1906 to 1912, give or take a few years. Where's Barbara? She can tell me exactly. But right in that period of what I call the 1980s, 1906, 1912, that's when your stained glass arrived, except for one window over here, which was during the Second World War. So I think that color scheme of 1906 had your window program in mind. Probably had already been set. You probably even had samples of the colors that the various window makers were proposing to use, and it really fits your windows. Now, as I say, we're not saying we're going to put the patterns back. We don't know yet, but we'll at least know the colors, and maybe the colors are going to really jump out at us as fitting those windows. That's just something that history might tell us, or it might not. But that's where we are in color. We haven't set anything yet in stone, or we haven't painted anything yet. Haven't painted samples yet, but we will.
Well, how long? What's the projected date this would begin?
Well, a lot of it depends on your money. But I think once you say begin construction, I think it will be over a year, but I don't think it'll be 2 years.
It will start?
For the construction period.
Oh.
It'd be nice to try to do it in a year, and it'd be very nice not to have to move out of the building. And if we can do part of the nave, part of the upper level behind a temporary partition, and then part of another behind a temporary partition, and just move around a bit, maybe you could stay in the church despite scaffolding. The whole church might be full of scaffolding, and it'll take longer that way. It'll cost a little more, but it has a great effect.
This is a very personal, selfish question.
Uh-oh.
For those of us who have been in this church for 23 years and have 2 girls who are of marriageable age, what are we going to do about weddings? I've waited my whole life for my girls to walk down that aisle.
Well,
just tell them to hold off for a couple of years.
No.
Consider the alternative.
Festoon that scaffolding. The students got
How old are they now?
Marriageable age.
23, thank you, Nick, they are.
25 and
But
23?
they have no real prospects. I'm just.
I'll tell their boyfriend you said that.
Do it before this starts. But you don't want them to rush into it.
Well, we'll let Nick.
We went through this when we had the scaffolding up, when we did the 2000 renovation, and brides unfortunately had to live with it. That one was on the most of that was on the outside. This is going to be, I think we have to try and live within it while we're doing this work. I think it's going to be exciting to actually live inside the construction, and will help us, hopefully help us get it done quicker if we're living with it rather than living outside of it.
It'll make it more personal, too.
It'll make it much more personal.
Our
for all of us.
scaffolding.
It's a big insurance item, though, if you do that.
Right.
Why? Why?
It's liability insurance.
But why would this presence of scaffolding
Well,
increase
if
it?
you're gonna use the church while construction is in
Yeah.
progress,
Well,
typically it increases.
Well,
your
it won't
insurance.
be in construction on Sundays.
I understand.
Yeah.
But the scaffolding and other.
Well,
Right.
could be, I don't know.
When you, in this city anyway, when you put scaffolding up, as they have to do every time they paint downtown, they have to do additional insurance.
Sure.
Yeah, I've had to do that myself. Yeah.
What's the bottom line?
The bottom line,
To be determined.
Jim is under contract to give us some estimate of the final cost and so forth. And we don't have a good solid estimate, but I would not be surprised if the total bill, including the Oregon and the sprinkler system and everything, approaches $3 million. And it's an extensive.
Some of us think we'll be lucky if we do it for $3 million.
Will you give us some more itemized? I'm just thinking, some of the things we may choose to do differently.
Oh, yes.
Because,
well, but you mentioned my contract. When I get the vestry's approval, sign on the dotted line, approval of this design, and it's all verbal so far, when I get the vestry's approval of the design, I bring in my consulting mechanical for heating and air conditioning and plumbing and electrical engineers, sprinklers. They do a preliminary design for those mechanical electrical systems as I've done for the architectural. Then we take the whole package to a professional cost estimator. So that I will do as soon as we have official vestry approval. And that will, I presume, will occur this fall. And it shouldn't take too long to do the preliminary work on the mechanicals. And then we have the cost estimator.
And then do we actually raise the money, or we just step out on faith for it and get the money? How does that work?
Well, we are going to start a capital campaign as soon as we have vestry approval of the plan. A capital campaign task force will be developed, and we will hire a professional consultant. We've already had Sven Van Baars from the diocese, who is the diocesan consultant on this. He's already been down and talked to the vestry early this year, and he has a number of companies he will recommend that we work with to help us raise this money.
So we raise it first and then do it.
That has yet to be decided. AIM 2000 was supposed to be that way and wasn't, and we just paid off AIM 2000 successfully at the start of this year. I guess it depends how successful we are. I would love to see us have the money and do it in advance. We don't know if we're going to be able to do that. Depends how well we raise that money and how generous people are.
The magnitude of the project is commensurate with some of the other projects that are going on in some of the local churches. I know the Methodist church down the street, you've seen their construction out front, and they're also planning on building like a 40,000 square foot building back there. And what we're talking about is in line with what they're proposing also. So.
Any other questions?
I'd be interested in just how do you feel about what you saw?
I don't like the cross.
You
It
don't-
bothers me.
You don't
because
like what?
I don't like where the cross is, because I like to walk in the door, and I know it's hard because I have to be a visual learner, I can't just see it right there. To me, that's the prettiest view in the church is when you walk in and see those three beautiful windows. And for that cross, the way it looks to me now, it's kind of inflicting on that view.
Oh, I don't think it will.
In my opinion.
Yeah. I don't think it will. it's so small. Public comment.
We can prepare, like, I can take a photograph and kind of superimpose that on there, just to give us an idea.
That'd be good.
Well, and my biggest fear is, because the gallery is used so little really, except for Christmas, Easter, and really prominent people's funerals like Dave King.
Well, you have concert series too.
Well, not that often, but I'm just saying, there's so much renovation to be done up there, that would be my biggest fear, is that people might object to that amount of money being spent there, when so much more, but like, I agree with the changes being made in the pews, and I love the idea of the altar coming forward. It's just that I think the gallery is so infrequently used.
Linda,
I
once
feel like
this
it's
is
not
in,
used
once
because
this
it's
is in
so
place,
awkward.
when we bring everything forward, we have to take the choir and the organ out of that space, and they have to go upstairs. Once we have those people upstairs, and there's going to be much more movement up there, we really need to do the renovation up there to make space for what's going to come from downstairs.
Well, I like the idea of how you make the eyes come
Yeah.
down from the windows. I think that's.
Well, in the big picture of things, in a $3 million project, the galleries are not very expensive. Even buying all the chairs and fixing the floor, we have to put the sprinkler system in anyway.
Yeah, I like the sprinkler system.
And we're going to add a little air conditioning up there. The gallery project is not a major part of this.
What is the major part?
Whoa, I suppose the biggest thing, it's hard to say, where do you stop?
The top three.
Well,
Three big things, the organ, the addition, the extension of the elevator, three big things.
And I
well,
guess, could we
just moving the music and all the chancel, everything that involves. And then the dominoes keep falling, the little newfound space, extending the stair up. It's hard to cut them off, but
I think the painting might be one of the larger elements.
Really?
well, painting, and we have a lot of plaster to repair, a lot of paint preparation. It's been painted for 158 years or something, many coats. It's all still there, peeling off. And a lot of places the plaster, you can kick it off.
I gotta have one.
I don't know if I missed it before, but why are we doing this major move of music?
To make more space, to get the excessive amount of objects out of the chancel, and it's the music, it's the whole music program. First of all, to get all that out of the chancel and in the West Gallery, where both can live with more space. And secondly, it's generally agreed the world over that church music is best coming down from the West Gallery rather than being up front, packed in a small space.
The other aspect to it is if we add one more choir member, there's no seat for them up there right now. So,
That's exciting.
yeah, so if we add 10 more, we really need space for them. That's what we hope to do.
Let me also say that in connection with the gallery, if you haven't been to the new 9 o'clock service, the choir and the keyboard and so forth that is helping lead the music at the 9 o'clock service is already in the gallery. John Freeland, our new Director of Music Ministries, has been making more use of the bell choir. In fact, I'm supposed to be up there right now, and they will be playing at more services. So the